I discovered my husband is having an affair. Not only is he not spending money on her, but he's actually making money from it. He earns 8,800 yuan a day. I spent the money through tears. Then I posted a small advertisement on my WeChat Moments, hoping for more people like him. My bestie immediately replied. How much? 1. Ding, the rich sugar mummy transferred another 6,666 yuan. I glanced at my husband, still in the shower, and swiftly operated on his phone. Receive transfer, transfer to myself, delete record, all in one go. Moving my fingers, easily boosting GDP. Hee hee. The sugar mummy sent another message. Honey, when are you getting divorced? 2. Not hee hee. I was originally hoping my husband's side hustle would grow bigger and stronger. Who would have thought the sugar mummy wants to break up the husband and wife business and become a shareholder herself? I pulled a long face and didn't reply to her. The phone buzzed and vibrated nonstop. The sugar mummy's messages came one after another. Question mark. Why aren't you replying? What do you mean, taking the money and not delivering? Owen, you spineless man. The bathroom doorknob turned. I quickly dropped the phone, grabbed my husband's underwear, and pretended to polish my leather shoes. Owen pushed open the bathroom door, shuffled out in slippers, leaving water stains everywhere. He roughly dried his hair with a towel, water dripping from the wet ends, falling onto his tan chest muscles, winding down, flowing over his faint abs and tight thighs. Considered a silver fox, still charming. Owen heard the buzzing of the phone, and his brows tightened. He quickly walked over, grabbed the phone, his eyes nervously glancing at me. I buried my head in polishing my shoes, looking very busy. He breathed a sigh of relief and explained. The boss asked me to work overtime. Then he hurriedly wiped himself clean, put on his suit, stepped into his leather shoes, and rushed out the door. I followed behind obediently, picking up the towel he had thrown. I used it to wipe the wet floor of the bathroom and the yellow urine stains around the toilet. Then hung it on my husband's towel rack. Privacy, sugar mommy. Eating takeout is just not very hygienic. 3. The sugar mummy is really hungry. She ate the second-hand man again and again, extremely satisfied. She even wants to have him all to herself. Late at night, I secretly took Owen's phone and reviewed his chat history. Sugar mummy, when are you getting divorced? Owen, she hasn't done anything wrong. Sugar mummy, you have. Sugar mummy, you? Have some morals, but not much. Sugar mummy, aren't you afraid I'll add her on WeChat and spill the beans about us? Owen, you can't find her. You miscalculated there. The sugar mummy added me long ago. She even asks after me from time to time, sends red envelopes during festivals, and sends her regards. Because my WeChat name is Peace's Blessing. She thought I was Owen's mom. Surprise. I collected double the money. That's called a win-win. Winning twice. 4. Owen kept refusing to get divorced, and the sugar mummy got impatient, secretly making small moves. She's going to take the initiative to tell me that she's already moved in. So, she secretly left a lipstick in our car. This plot is so familiar, it's just like the green books my bestie often shares with me. Books about a bunch of people being cheated on. There are always meticulous sisters with sharp eyes who discover some dirty things and anxiously post them online everywhere to ask. Wondering, shouting, and in the end, either an AQ ending or just run. I'm different. I don't have a single speck of meticulousness or sharp eyes. Her carefully prepared plan, her showing off, I didn't see any of it. The sugar mummy couldn't swallow this, so she instructed Owen to say, "Our car is a bit dirty, tell your wife to wipe it." Owen passed it on to me. I passed it on to the cleaning lady. The cleaning lady's salary is the money the sugar mummy paid for Owen. Under layers of outsourcing, the carefully selected, expensive lipstick finally saw the light of day. I casually threw it to my daughter to play with as a crayon. The kindergarten teacher was shocked. She pulled me aside after school and asked stealthily, "Is Wendy's dad selling well lately?" Owen is a real estate salesman. The teacher is asking about house prices. I said, "The general environment hasn't been good lately, so we've opened up a new track." The parents who came to pick up their children all perked up their ears. With the economy declining, everyone is paying attention to money-making opportunities. I glanced at them and said with a bit of regret, "This industry isn't for everyone. You have to be good-looking, hardworking, and take off the long gown of Kong E.G." The parents swarmed around me, inquiring openly and secretly, chatting up a storm. They used to despise me for being a housewife, but now they praise me as the pillar of the family. Their eyes were full of envy for wealth. It made me so happy. 5. The sugar mummy was so angry she almost choked. The sugar mummy gritted her teeth and increased the stakes. She threw a pair of lace panties in the car. This time I was prepared. I calmly took out the original flavor white socks of a male athlete that I carefully selected online. In the dashcam footage, the sugar mummy picked up the white socks from under the car seat, playfully punched Owen's chest, and blamed him for throwing clothes around. When she looked at Owen, she suddenly froze. Owen always wears dark socks with his suit. So these socks? Her face suddenly turned green, the small punches turned into big punches, slamming into him, and she asked the 3 questions in a sharp voice. Are you having an affair with a man? Seduction or coercion? Plug or socket? Owen, who had lived 30 years of upright and chaste life, was humiliated for the first time, and immediately turned red with anger. A quarrel broke out. The mistress was crying, the husband was roaring. And I was picking up my HPV test report. When it comes to relationships, good health is the most important thing. 6. That's when I realized. The sugar mummy isn't just throwing money around, she's even developed a crush. I thought she was forcing Owen to get divorced just to freeload. My sense of crisis suddenly rose. I've been a housewife for many years. If I get divorced, I won't have a source of income. Raising children costs money for food, drink, and everything else. The only thing I can cash in on is my husband. Might as well squeeze every last drop out of him before the divorce. After doing the calculations, I immediately posted an ad on my WeChat Moments. Owen, male, Gold's salesperson. Has been deeply involved in the human-machine connection industry for many years. With rich work experience, he gives you the perfect service experience. As soon as I posted it, my bestie immediately commented with a question mark. I continued to post. Husband starts a duck business, and his wife fully supports him. You're not a hero if you don't reach the Great Wall, it's a pity if you don't eat duck. Those with money can offer a money, tongue, those without money can watch for free. The comments section was silent, but the number of likes skyrocketed in silence. My bestie messaged me privately. You're better at talking than singing. Did Big Bird cheat? My feelings were complicated. Owen and I went from school uniforms to wedding dresses, all under my bestie's witness. The marital change came so suddenly that I hadn't figured out how to tell her. Unexpectedly, she came back with another sentence. How much? Do you offer discounts for acquaintances? 7. She said, sis has a little money. I said, 2,000. She said, keep it for yourself. The person left. I quickly tried to keep her. Are you sincerely interested? Tell me a price. She said, 500. Wouldn't that be 250 after the property division? That's too shabby. My bestie talked eloquently. An 18-year-old diamond drill is only 2,000. Your husband is 30 and only worth 500. I didn't believe it. How come when I got him, they told me men get better with age? But when it comes to selling him, he's useless. Is this a Ponzi scheme in my hands? My bestie saw that I was eager to sell, so she enthusiastically introduced me to a rich woman's group. White Horse Club Exchange Group. As soon as I entered the group, a pile of male model photos came at me, each with different body types and styles, making me dizzy. I've long known my bestie likes to enjoy the moment. I didn't expect her to be this happy. Life is really getting better, and I can experience the joy of the emperor flipping through nameplates too. I enthusiastically browsed all the photos, conducted thorough market research, and deeply analyzed the customer's pain points. Not fresh enough. The main contradiction in the human-machine connection industry is the rich women's increasingly perverted spiritual needs and the male model's formulaic performances. Times have changed. The gambling dad, the sick mom, the studying sister, the broken him, the rich women are tired of that. It's time to inject fresh blood. I rubbed my hands, threw out a few photos of my husband, and boldly said, let everyone play with my husband, and make some good friends. It quickly caught the rich women's attention. New husband model? I immediately replied. Yes, do you want to feel the thrill of infidelity? Do you want to taste the pleasure of immorality? Multi-scene real experience, the richest sensory feast. I anxiously waited for the customer's replies. To be honest, I don't have much confidence in my own product. I'm used to him not washing his stinky feet before getting into bed, the sheets and pillows being yellowish from sleep, not flushing after pooping, and splashing pee on the toilet seat. It completely kills the libido. But even old, dilapidated houses can be sold for high prices, so why can't old, dilapidated men? So, I photoshopped a few more of Owen's daily life photos and preset several plots. They've been together for 14 years, from school uniforms to wedding dresses, a happy model couple in the eyes of outsiders. Only you know, in the hidden corners, you fall into the abyss again and again. You're heartbroken and stuck at the company in the rain, unable to go home. A colleague's husband drives across half the city to pick her up. Looking at their sweet demeanor, a dark thought sprouts in your heart. Married for 10 years, you're both a little tired of each other. Your bestie always likes to exchange clothes with you. This time, she brings her husband over. A bunch of little essays with different scenarios were sent out with a pili pa sound. 1 minute later. The rich woman casually replied. Add some alphabet content. 8. I was greatly shocked. People's fetishes are really diverse. Before I could even digest it, the rich woman transferred the money neatly. 3,000 yuan, smoothly entered my account. No middleman taking the cut. My bestie was stunned, messaged me privately. You're wasting your talent not doing sales. You can sell 500's worth of goods for 3,000. My mood was more inflated than a god-tier takeout coupon. So good. Both the sense of accomplishment of getting rich through my own hard work, and the pleasure of relying on a man for food without working for it. When Owen proposed, he said affectionately, I'll support you. He really did it. I'm crying to death. I think we can't stick to just this one channel of group chats. So I quickly registered on the Green Book, Zaya Hongshu. I have a hunch that a new internet celebrity is about to rise. Many years later, when I face the media spotlights, I will definitely remember that distant afternoon in 2021 when I registered my Green Book account. My entrepreneurial journey started there. Excited heart, trembling hands, vivid little essays, pouring out from my fingertips. I solemnly pressed publish. 1 minute later, a message popped up. This content violates the rules and has been deleted. 9. Failed to start a business, but the post was deleted for violating regulations. I gave up. I focused on maintaining my existing clients. The rich woman contacted me to book a time, place, plot, and props. I was very professional on the surface, but panicked inside. After the conversation, I immediately found a learning website and clicked to watch it, ignoring the risks. Just as the plot was getting interesting. Suddenly, the sound of the lock turning rang out. I jumped up. Turned off the website, deleted the history, closed the computer, all in one go. Then I grabbed a rag and pretended to wipe the table. As soon as Owen came in, he shouted loudly. Where's the food? Not done yet? What good are you staying at home? Bad. I was so busy selling the duck that I forgot to feed the duck. I fudged. It's cooking in the pot, it will be ready soon. Owen threw his clothes aside and went to bed to scroll through short videos. 30 minutes later. I made corn and shrimp, cold beef salad, and buckwheat noodles, and brought them to my daughter's room. Then I opened the trendy Chinese packaging, poured the barbecue that bet on my career as a chef onto a plate, and called Owen. Come out to eat. Garlic oysters, grilled chives, grilled lamb kidneys. Highly targeted diet therapy. As the saying goes, if you want to do a good job, you must first sharpen your tools. Owen's hardware was a bit soft, and the upgrade of the software compensated for this part very well. Owen ate happily. I looked on with satisfaction. Suddenly, I saw a scratch mark on his neck. Damn it. How could the rich woman damage public property? How can I sell it now? Owen noticed my gaze, looked down. His chopsticks stopped. I didn't say a word, found iodine and scar cream. Apply it yourself. Owen silently took it, silently applied the medicine, and finally squeezed out an explanation. A property owner came to make trouble today. You're really something. The rich woman is indeed a property owner. And she did make trouble. Every word is true, but together they form a lie. The top-notch persuasive ability of a salesman was easily mastered by him. Infidelity, a ladder for men to advance. When Owen finished applying the medicine and handed me the ointment, he suddenly grabbed my hand and said vaguely, Wendy should sleep on her own now, or tonight. Holy crap. Are these oysters working that fast? An aphrodisiac. I don't want to sleep with a dirty cucumber. My mind was buzzing, and at that moment, the phone rang, clear and bright. It was Owen's mom calling. His mom doesn't have much of a role in our lives. The last time she appeared was when her WeChat name, Rose Waiting for Love, lost out to my Peace is Blessing, regrettably missing out on the sugar mummy's filial piety. I cheerfully answered the phone. His mom's strong voice came from the speaker. Haley, when are you and Owen going to have a second child? I shouldn't have answered this call. 10. I'm tired. This broken life. Someone is meddling, someone is interfering. His mom rambled on. Haley, you need to hurry up, you're 30 now, if you don't have a second child. I interrupted. Mom, we're trying, but you interrupted us with your call. His mom's voice stopped abruptly. She hurriedly hung up the phone. I looked at Owen. Your mom hung up. I was going to ask her what position she used to conceive a son. Why don't you call back and ask? Owen was incredulous, stammering. Ask what? A person lives for face, a tree lives for bark. Shameless and skinless, invincible. I smiled slightly. Ask your mom and dad what position they used to conceive you, and teach us. Owen looked suffocated. The blank look froze on his face, and he walked away stiffly. The Wang family is reserved and introverted. One asks others when they will procreate. The other cheats on his wife with a mistress. Is there aversion to sex just to hide their clumsiness? 11. Owen hasn't received a message from the sugar mummy for days. His heart is dead. But his kidneys aren't. They've been fortified by my aphrodisiac meal. He accumulated a lot of virile energy, and when he was about to get inflamed from holding it in, the sugar mummy client arrived as scheduled. According to the booking, next, she was going to attempt to seduce a married man within 30 minutes. If the challenge fails, 80% of the money will be refunded. The sugar mummy was excited, rubbing her hands, eager to try. She arrived at the location and saw a handsome man with a clear complexion, sitting in the driver's seat with a cold expression, a hint of melancholy in his eyes. Because the group-bought meal in the morning was too disgusting, the sugar mummy was very satisfied. She knocked on the car window and took the initiative to talk to the man. The man's voice was like the indifferent lapping of damp seawater over the rocks, low and husky. Because the salted egg in the group-bought meal was too salty, the sugar mummy was even more satisfied. So she began to seduce him. For men, there are only 0 times or countless times of cheating. So, faced with blatant temptation, of course he chose to remain unmoved. My pupils dilated. I watched the scene through the long focus lens from dozens of meters away in shock. No, is he sick? Why is he suddenly pretending to be a chaste and virtuous husband? I was furious. The first step failed. This order is going to be refunded. All the planning was in vain. Time passed by minute. 29 minutes. The sugar mummy failed the challenge, unable to conquer the married man, and the duck within reach flew away. She looked frustrated, sighed, and habitually took out her wallet to give a tip. She casually gave 3,001. Owen's eyes suddenly changed. He was conquered. 12. I am truly impressed. I hurried to the next scheduled location, the hotel. Patiently waited for 20 minutes. Guessing that the fierce battle was over, I suddenly burst into the room, breaking up the affair. The sugar mummy's eyes lit up, her face full of tension and excitement, and she quietly got into position, sticking her butt out. I also grabbed the belt from the side of the bed, whipped it in the air, and strode over aggressively. Suddenly a howl interrupted me. Wife, let me explain. I held the belt and glared at Owen. Explain what? I saw everything. Owen was incoherent, pointing at the sugar mummy. She seduced me. I thought she was too annoying, so I poked her twice. How can you talk to customers like that? I was furious, and couldn't help but lash out with the belt. Owen screamed and dodged. We chased each other around the big bed. The sugar mummy on the bed suddenly got anxious, and rushed up in one step. Why are you hitting him? Hit me. Ah. I was so busy hitting him that I forgot to hit you. I immediately changed direction and whipped the sugar mummy with the belt. The sugar mummy immediately screamed ecstatically. Owen stared with wide eyes. His face was written with, "This woman is willing to take the belt from me, she loves me so much." 13. Perfect ending. The sugar mummy passionately commented in the group. Great experience. The real thing matches the pictures, handsome, and has a unique melancholic temperament. His voice is also nice, very magnetic. Unlocked a new SM storyline, nice. More sugar mummies immediately poured into the group, asking her for details. I was overjoyed. The corners of my mouth were harder to suppress than an AK. Wife, stop smiling, I'm scared. Owen put on his clothes, holding up his pants with one hand, and weakly tried to take the belt back from my hand with the other. Wife, I was just bewitched this time, I definitely won't do it again. She's just a hotel, you're my home. I am not. I run the hotel. I quickly typed on my phone and booked a few more orders. I'll keep doing it. 14. Customers kept coming. Life was colorful. The cuckolded me. The guy who screws around. The blue little pill. That's right, Owen's body couldn't take it anymore. Workplace injury. Schopenhauer once said that the greatest folly of man is to exchange his health for external things. Fortunately, I'm exchanging my husband's health. Owen thought he was infinitely charming, and that wherever he went, people would make eye contact with him and take the initiative to throw themselves into his arms in a hotel. He was high-spirited and flamboyant every day. And I was secretly manipulating things, getting soft from counting money. As Owen cheated more and more, he couldn't help but feel guilty towards me. He wanted to make it up to me. His way of making it up to me was to have a second child. This isn't making it up to me. This is making it up to your mom. When Owen's mom heard this, she specially rode her little electric scooter, transferred to the county bus, took the high-speed train, took the subway, rode a shared bicycle, and rushed to my house. She took a bag of mud pills and said mysteriously, "Haley, if you eat this, I guarantee you'll have a son." I agreed readily. Okay. I'll give Owen it to eat tonight. Owen's mom got anxious. No, this medicine is harmful to the liver. I sneered. Isn't my liver a liver? We parted on bad terms. In the evening, Owen came home with a livid face and slammed the door shut. You made my mom angry? I really gave you face, not making any money and still acting up at home. I'm telling you, once you've entered our family, you have to give birth to a son. With your yellow-faced woman look, if it weren't for Wendy's sake, would I want you? If you don't give birth, there are plenty of people outside who are willing to give birth. Did he eat something toxic in the group bought meal? It seems that there are too many colorful flags outside, making him float. I found it funny. But Wendy was scared by the earth-shattering roar and started crying softly. I picked up Wendy and left. I opened the car door, navigated to my bestie's house, lowered my head to adjust the seat, and then found a pregnancy test stick. 2 bars. 15. I want a divorce, I said. My bestie, wearing a face mask, glanced at me. You better be. If you don't, I'll treat it as you showing off your love. I said. If I don't get a divorce, I'm a dog. But I don't have a job, how am I going to raise Wendy after the divorce? With the current economic situation, which company would want a housewife like me? My bestie's beauty salon business isn't good either, it's impossible for her to take me in. Speaking of which, the sugar mummy also runs a beauty salon, but she's making a fortune. The heavens are truly unfair. While I was sighing, my phone beeped 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 beeped. My bestie rubbed her hands. I've been collecting 8 divorce experience posts, and I'm finally using them. Opportunity always favors the prepared, I've sent them to you, hurry up and look. A few days later, Owen called, requesting a divorce. I put on light makeup and wore a white dress to the appointment. As soon as I entered the door, Owen's mom, and the sugar mummy were all there, the whole family neatly gathered together. Owen's mom was triumphant, and took the lead in making an important speech. Her belly is so pointed, she's definitely carrying a boy. Or maybe it's a cone. Owen was supporting the sugar mummy's belly, which wasn't even showing, looking cautious. I took a big step and said powerfully, I don't want a divorce. The whole family showed dissatisfaction on their faces. I pouted and cried loudly. Just because she can give birth to a son? I can too. I ate so much Chinese medicine to give you a son, can't you wait for me? Owen was stunned. Owen's mom mumbled, when did you ever eat any? But I forcibly suppressed her with my suddenly raised crying. Then, I took out a stack of photos and started round 2. We have so many wonderful memories, our love at first sight, our mutual understanding, our harmonious coexistence, what does it all mean to you? Owen looked at the old photos, then looked at me in the first love white dress, his face showing struggle, and the hand supporting the sugar mummy loosened. The sugar mummy hesitated first, maybe we shouldn't get divorced. No. I quickly interrupted, and cried even more dramatically. We've worked so hard for so many years, we finally bought a house, had a child, and had a home. Now, it's all gone. I only have Wendy left, she's our daughter, she's my only thought, I want to take good care of her, so? I want 80% of the property division, and $3,000 a month for child support, not a penny less. I slammed the divorce agreement on the table. Owen was originally lost in memories, but immediately pulled himself out after listening. I don't agree. You don't make a penny, why should you divide my money? Okay, all the acting before was for nothing. I glanced at him. If it weren't for you and your mom refusing to take care of the child, would I have quit my job? You don't agree? Okay, then let's go to court, we'll fight for 1.5 years, anyway, it's not like I'm in a hurry to have a baby. The sugar mummy got anxious. How much money do you want? I'll pay. I'll give you $1 million, leave your husband. My eyes lit up. I played with Owen during his most handsome, energetic and attractive youth, and selling him as scrap can still earn $1 million. Huge profit. Hearing that someone was paying the bill, Owen immediately agreed to the divorce and quickly signed his name on the agreement. Done. My eyes were burning. I'm really getting a divorce, and I'm making an extra $1 million, I'll tell my bestie, I'm not a coward. Owen's eyes were also burning, the sugar mummy could even pay for him to get divorced, how rich is she? The sugar mummy's eyes were even more burning, she breathed a sigh of relief. It's good to get divorced, my son can't be an illegitimate child. He's the only grandson of our old Lee family. Owen's eyebrows jumped, Owen's mom shouted. What? What did you say the child's surname is? The sugar mummy said confidently. Our old Lee family has passed down 3 generations, and it can't end with me, of course this child's surname is Lee. Owen's mom slapped her thigh. He's the son of our old Wong family, he definitely has to be surnamed Wong. The sugar mummy was confused. Mom, you don't have the surname Wong, the Wong family is carrying on the family line, why are you worrying about it? The sugar mummy and Owen's mom started arguing. I was clueless. One family is named Wong, and the other is named Lee. There are 1 billion people in the country with the same surname, are they afraid of extinction? I'm the one who should be afraid. My surname is Fifth. Let's each take a step back, the child will be named Lee Love Wang. Why not Wang Love Lee? 16. Later, the household registration was registered as Lee Wang Yaozu. It's truly a strong combination, inevitably a beautiful story of Lee and Wang's goodwill. And I also changed Wendy's name to Fifth Wendy. Every day I only need to say one sentence to wake her up. Fifth Wendy, start up. But those are all stories for later. Today, I'm about to register the divorce. For a month, I've been dieting, taking care of my skin, and learning how to dress. Early in the morning, my bestie got up to do my makeup, deep eyeshadow, red lips, heavy highlighter and contour, paired with a fiery red dress. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, when Owen saw me, the shock on his face was completely undisguised, his eyes infatuated. "Haley, you look so beautiful today." I didn't give him a single glance. I strode into the Civil Affairs Bureau, only the fiery red corner of my skirt fluttering in the wind. 3, 2, 1, cut. I dragged the long skirt again, and strode out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Shoot this angle again. I went in and out of the Civil Affairs Bureau a dozen times, and Owen was numb. After a day of tossing around and staying up all night, I finally cut out the first video. The BGM was ups and downs, the photos were extremely impactful, and it simply and concisely told the story of my journey from a youthful schoolgirl to a cooking yellow-faced woman, from sweet first love to cheating and divorce. The cover was a comparison photo. On the left was me in the delivery room, with a swollen body and dull complexion. On the right was me at the time of the divorce, with a curvy figure and a red dress fluttering. The contrast was tragic and stark. After clicking publish on the green book, I was so tired that I fell asleep the moment my head hit the pillow. When I woke up the next day, the video had gone viral. 17. The comments section was a spectacle. Many people were filled with emotion and couldn't help but recount their own rocky marriages. Some offered heartwarming comfort, some made scathing comments, and some offered advice. And me, of course, I quickly seized the surge of traffic and started live streaming, becoming a relationship blogger. Many fans connected with me to tell their relationship stories. My mouth was like a machine gun, the comments were harsh and insightful, with one set of insults after another, and I could easily maintain the rhyme scheme. The show's effects were very funny. Unsurprisingly, I became popular. A new internet celebrity had truly risen. Not only that, but I casually mentioned in the live stream that the dieting, skincare, and makeup were all done at my bestie's beauty salon. Fans flocked to the store to check it out and experience it for themselves. The beauty salon, which was on the verge of closing down, came back to life. It even opened its first branch. When the new store grandly opened, my bestie and I were stunned. The entrance was actually full of luxury cars. BYD, Xpeng, Neo, Chery, Leap Motor. A true gathering of heroes, a new energy vehicle conference. Just when our careers were booming, my bestie told me gleefully. Owen had been laid off. I quickly pricked up my ears. It turned out that after the highly anticipated Yaozu was born, his nightmare began. The sugar mummy asked him to feed the baby. Owen was dissatisfied. "You're so rich, why don't you hire a nanny?" The sugar mummy glared. "I spent $1 million to fill the hole you created with the divorce, and you still dare to ask for money?" Owen didn't want to feed the baby. He had rich experience as a father. When the child cried in the middle of the night, he pretended not to hear. He didn't expect the sugar mummy to indulge him. She kicked him to the ground. "Are you deaf? Aren't you going to feed the baby? What good are you? Give me back the $1 million, let's get divorced." Owen had no choice but to accept his fate, getting up every night to make formula, feed the baby, and put the baby to sleep. After all that, he had only been asleep for 2 hours when the baby cried again. The next day at work, Owen was drowsy, and he made repeated mistakes, losing several deals that were almost in his pocket. The boss was furious and directly fired him, without even giving him severance pay. Owen went home dejectedly and confided in the sugar mummy. The sugar mummy listened carefully, frequently asking for details, and even comforted Owen with a few words. Owen was touched. As a result, the next day, the sugar mummy learned the means of Owen's boss and laid off the redundant employees of her own beauty salon, without giving a cent of compensation. As for Owen, since he couldn't earn much money anyway, he should just stay home and be a house husband. 18. Owen lived the life I used to live. Feeding the baby, changing diapers, eating and pooping and eating, the child was a ruthless poop machine, never ending. If the child cried and didn't fall asleep within 3 minutes, he would receive the sugar mummy's angry scolding. "Shut up, can't you soothe him? What good are you?" All day long, buying groceries, cooking, washing dishes, sweeping the floor, hanging clothes, picking up toys. He finally rested on the sofa for a while, only to be commented on by the sugar mummy when she came home from work. "Enjoying yourself all day lying at home." Once, after Owen bought himself a new set of clothes, the sugar mummy's face turned gloomy. You don't make a penny, and you still dare to spend money recklessly? So, she took the lead in updating Hubba, Sure, WeChat official account, drastically reducing household expenses, and also requiring him to get the sugar mummy's approval for every expenditure. Owen collapsed and began to doubt his life. How could he be reduced to the situation he despised the most? How could he be like me back then? After the sugar mummy mocked him again for not making money, he rose up. He wanted to regain his family status, he wanted to prove himself, he wanted to make money. He gambled online. Perhaps it was a natural talent. Owen easily owed $2 million. The sugar mummy was furious, and had a big fight with him. Just when their marriage was in chaos, I seized the opportunity and exposed the sugar mummy's layoff without compensation, which violated labor laws. Laid-off employees came forward one after another, connecting with my live stream to complain. They also took the opportunity to complain about the sugar mummy's abuse of low-priced, no-product products, substandard hygiene, opaque prices, and other issues. My traffic was huge, and the sugar mummy's beauty salon's reputation plummeted, and customers quickly left. The sugar mummy's marriage and career suffered major blows, and she was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. The beauty salon, which had been running well, was even more chaotic. I drank it while it was hot. My bestie and I started a chain store nonstop, receiving the sugar mummy's employees, absorbing the sugar mummy's customers, and squeezing out the sugar mummy's market. Take advantage of her illness to take her life. The business world is like a battlefield, changing rapidly, and by the time the sugar mummy got out of the mess, the market had long been reshuffled. 19. The sugar mummy and Owen fought a lawsuit for a year before they successfully divorced. At the time of the divorce, Owen discovered that the sugar mummy's property had been notarized before the marriage, and he couldn't get a penny. Even the $1 million that she always talked about gifting him had conditions attached, and could be recovered after the divorce. Owen was burdened with millions of debts. The debt collection calls went through all his relatives, and his mom had a cerebral hemorrhage from the anger. She was barely saved, but she could no longer get out of bed. Owen heard that I was rich now, and tried every means to contact me, but I blacklisted them all. He didn't give up and connected to my live stream. With tears in his eyes, he cried that he had been blinded by greed, how regretful he was, how painful he was, deeply missing the happy life of the past, and crying every day. I said, I don't care how you wash your face. He was unwilling. Our love at first sight, our mutual understanding, our harmonious coexistence, what does it all mean to you? I said, count as an idiom game. The live stream traffic soared. Hundreds of thousands of people watched Owen get scolded by me. Owen quickly hung up. I haven't heard from him since. My career grew bigger and stronger, and I also had a place in the local rich women's group. The rich women clients who used to lick my boots in the White Horse Club group in order to sell my husband, are now my good sisters who go shopping, explore stores, and play with male models together. Everyone knows about the past romantic affairs, but they keep it to themselves. Once, when we went to the club, I casually opened the male model roster and saw a familiar figure at a glance. The sisters winked, and I decisively ordered him. Owen walked into the dimly lit room, and first saw his former affair partner sitting at the door. His face froze. He quickly changed into a broken expression, 3 parts fragility and 7 parts stubbornness, choking as he slowly told the tragic story of his gambling dad, sick mom, studying sister, and his difficult self. After hearing this, we sisters couldn't help but look at each other and smile. Owen saw that the atmosphere was wrong, raised his head to look at the others, and was stunned. They were all his affair partners. He seemed to realize something, his eyes trembling as he scanned the faces of each person in turn, and finally landed on my smiling face. His broken expression was truly broken. I chuckled. I'm tired of hearing this. Do you have any other storylines?